Hey guys, welcome back. Another one with me and Lamar here. So, yeah, did you get a chance to see that the Marvel Tokon
Yeah, I
stuff?
saw it.
So,
The,
what do you
the
think
two
of Hulk
characters,
and
man, he
Shuri?
looks
And
sick. They look sick.
Hulk looks amazing to me. Now,
Yeah, yeah.
what are your thoughts on? I mean, we could go into a little more, but what are your thoughts on like this? Whatever the Black Panther
Oh,
controversy of that it's Shuri and not T'Challa.
T'Challa. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't. It don't really bother me. I think she looks kind of sick. To be
Yeah,
honest, her
for
design
real.
is just fucking sick.
Well, I
But
like
it's
the thought of that, like she's got maybe a little bit of medium range because she's got a staff. Like
yeah,
T'Challa's always kind of Wolverine esque. With
yeah.
his
Well, she was giving
range.
me X-23 type vibes, just looking at
Mm,
but
yeah,
staff with X-23. But you know what I'm
yeah,
saying. Somebody made a good point. I don't know who it was. They were saying like, T'Challa, he's in Marvel Rivals. He's in Infinite Marvel. Is it Marvel Infinite? I forget.
yeah,
Which was the
yeah,
one? Yeah, Marvel Infinite.
yeah.
He's in the Beat 'em Up, Cosmic Invasion Marvel. So they were like, give her a chance to shine in the game. So personally, I'm not a, I don't have a problem with that.
No, and Marvel. First of all, this game specifically, they said.
Hmm.
I mean, they said this day one. We're trying to go with some different picks of characters.
Yeah.
Some different thoughts on. We don't want this to just be. They did everything they could to say it without saying it, but essentially saying this isn't going to be your MVC roster.
Right.
Um,
Right.
this is going to be some different characters, unique. I mean, already they have Penny Parker, and some characters that have not, Star Lord,
Yeah.
characters that have not been in a versus game really.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm cool with it. I'm pretty much down for any characters at this point. I think
Yeah.
if the game does well, we're getting a crap ton of DLC
Oh
seasons
yeah.
of characters, and if they're
Hmm.
doing this four groups of four or teams of four, I mean, imagine all the different themes they can come up with. Apocalypse and his the Horsemen.
Oh
Dude,
man.
that's a team right there. Like,
Yeah.
goddamn, dude,
That would
or
be
whatever.
sick. Yeah.
Or weapon X Force and have like Deadpool and Cable and
Oh yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh
dude,
man.
there's
Yeah.
so
Possibilities.
many that they could milk, advertising wise, promo wise. Have them all have similar theme like outfits and color scheme. Like if you do X Force, have them all have their kind of black or black and gray, and then kind of like your red and black, more like Deadpool. Cable can
Hmm.
have his typical Cable esque from like X-Men 97 kind of look, as well as the more Marvel 2 version where it's more like Cyclops looking, and dude, I mean, dude, I'm pretty hyped. I'm pretty excited for it. I thought Hulk. I mean, I'm thinking I might play Hulk. Like, I was like, God damn. And,
Dog. Yeah, he
uh,
was looking kind of crazy, bro.
I'll tell you, and you
Yeah.
probably never really knew this, but Hulk was kind of my main near the end of Marvel Infinite. I was
Really? I
playing
didn't know
Thor
that.
and Hulk, and dude, they had some nasty ass shit. And those guys that play in those tournaments that I was telling you, the Gauntlet and MVCI is Dead series or whatever, and that
Yeah.
they do like weekly tournaments still. And this one guy, he's super sick with Hulk, and I mean, dude, he does some of the craziest shit. But my Hulk was pretty decent at the time, and
Mm.
I really liked Marvel Infinite Hulk because he had a few options that uh, like Marvel 3 Hulk didn't. And
Okay.
so I would like a Hulk that plays somewhere in between, basically maybe a hybrid of Marvel 3 and Marvel Infinite Hulk, where he's got, and it looks like he has like almost like that Juggernaut grab from
Yeah.
earlier versions of Marvel superheroes, where he could grab your body off the ground And
Oh yeah,
then he
yeah,
does that, like puny god where he slams you back and forth,
yeah,
Hulk. But
yeah.
man, I'm just super
Makes sense,
excited.
man. I know, man. It's like I'm almost like tempted as soon as I get some money to just go ahead and pre-order it. If you
Oh
can
yeah.
pre-order it, can you? Is it up for pre-order yet?
Probably not yet. I know they now. Here was something, and I don't know if you noticed. It seemed like they talked about a release date, but if I'm not mistaken, they said specifically Japan. And I was like, I'm used to like all
Hmm.
these launches kind of being, uh, like a global launch date. It seems
Right.
like stuff has kind of went away from that, but maybe they're worried that like maybe they don't think they'll have all the voice acting done for the American version on time, or maybe it's something where they want to work out the kinks, and because America's obviously the bigger audience. There's more
Yeah.
people in America. Granted, maybe not as many gamers. It's tight knit in a localized area as Japan or something, but
Yeah.
maybe their thought is like, okay, we release it here, give ourselves like a couple extra weeks, and then put it out, a little after in America, like three
I
weeks or a
mean,
month or something.
I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
I feel like if they were to do that, it would. Personally, I think people are anticipating this game so much, they could release it as is, have them do the voices, and then just fix it with an update.
Yeah,
People want to get their hands on the game ASAP. I would deal with 2 or 3 weeks of Japanese dialogue. Long as I can read it in English, I'm cool. And then whenever
but
they update the English voices, I'd be fine with
I
that.
don't know if it's still the same way, but I remember rumors that back on 360 that anytime that a company does an update to a game, that they had to pay like 10 grand or 20 grand or something. That like for them to release an update to the system for that game, they had to pay. So like that's why some of these companies don't do tons of updates, because they have to pay every time. That's why they do it like, once a year, or Street Fighter. They don't want to do rebalance adjustments, because then they have to repatch the game. And
Yeah, I
if
think
they
like, but
release
that gives,
DLC, same thing.
yeah, I guess that also gives them an excuse for seasons too.
Yeah.
So that means
Yeah,
they gotta
well, you
let the
tie it all
time.
in together. You tie it in with,
Yeah,
okay, the new season, and we're going to put the placements for the new four characters. That's going to be patched into the game. Maybe they're not already fully in the game. We're going to do this season's balance adjustments, and then I don't know, but yeah, I'm
yeah.
excited, and I can't remember the date they said. Was it
Hmm.
August?
I
Do you
think August,
recall?
yeah, like August 6th or something. I mean, I think it's
So,
early. It's early August. I know it's definitely August. It's definitely August.
and I can't remember, when is Evo? Is that July or August?
Shoot, I don't know off the
Because
top. I have to
it
look.
would be smart to time it right around, like maybe the
Yeah,
week after Evo, dude. And look, they could do cross promotions. If you go to Evo, you get like a $10 like coupon code to use to get 10 off Marvel
that would
Tokon
be
or
sick.
something.
That would
Dude,
be
I mean,
sick.
imagine, dude, and that's insignificant to the cost of getting the room, taking time off work, all the shit, spending money on food, people in Vegas gambling, whatever stuff you're doing. But the fact
Hmm.
is that it'd be kind of just a cool bonus incentive, to like,
Yeah, dude, that would be sick. Yeah, just
or
save three
if
dollars
you
on the game.
attend, or I'll tell you that something that maybe some of the community would like even more. What if they had Evo exclusive like skins?
Oh yeah, yeah, that would be
Like
sick.
you
I'm
can
surprised they
only
haven't
get
thought of that
this. You can
yet.
only get this with this code that's from Evo. Like your character would be maybe wearing a shirt that says Evo, or they'd have the Evo logo on their sleeve or something, and whatever.
Yeah,
That
that would
to
be
me
sick.
just makes sense. It seems like that'd be
Yeah,
sick as hell.
Like I'm surprised they haven't been thought of that, to be honest. You know, but maybe, you know, shit. Because they have the new management. People that's over Evo now, I think it's the Saudis, the one I was hearing. I'm not
Yeah,
100%
yeah,
sure.
it's in like a transitional phase for sure. And I
Yeah.
think some of the, like the one guy who's been doing Evo, he's been like, he stepped in ever since Mr. Wizard got booted out for,
Oh yeah,
all his
being
shit.
weird.
And
Yeah.
so, and I feel like he's a cool guy. Like he's done a good job. He speaks
Yeah.
well, talking about the event and trying to expand and the multiple evos. And there's the pros and cons. Yes, I still feel like there should be one main evo. Like okay, the main world evo, and then like you can still have 5 other evos in different parts of the world, but
Yeah.
like it'd be like the Masters in golf. It's like, well, the
Mm.
Masters is still the Masters, and all the other tournaments maybe affect your placing in the Masters or qualifying to get into the Masters. Like I
Right.
feel
Right.
like Evo at this point, if they're gonna do it like that, should almost be like its own Capcom Cup, where like
Hmm.
as you go and do World Warrior tournaments throughout the world, you would gain certain amount of points, and the top, whatever the top 100 would get access,
Each
get
Evo.
invited or
Yeah.
invitational,
Yeah.
or maybe even get it paid for. Where then there could still be other contestants, but they would like get in free essentially or something.
Mm.
Or maybe even be placed higher in the bracket, like
Yeah.
basically get like 2 buys, for their first 2 matches, so it would put them in slightly deeper in the bracket or something, to reward them for going to all these damn tournaments and
Yeah.
travel and expenses. And
Right. Make it worth their while. You know. Because yeah, that's the one thing right now. It seems like when it comes to Evo, it's the money. You know, like a lot of the guys are the dudes that have won Capcom Cup and some of those other Saudi tournaments. You know, King of or the City of Wolves and Tekken. Like those guys are rich. Like that Goichi guy. You know, I think he just played Sonic Fox a couple of weeks ago. Just they were just messing around in GBZ Fighters because of the new Goku character they released.
yeah,
And people I didn't even realize it. I was listening to the commentators. They're like, yeah, Goichi, just having fun with Sonic Fox. Guys, he's a millionaire, by the way. He won the tournament on City Rules. I'm like, what? I keep forgetting we do have millionaires in the MCC.
yeah, now, yeah.
It's crazy.
And you take people like Momochi, who he won one
Mhm.
of the big tournaments back in the day. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I think it was 5, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was the tail end of 4.
yeah,
But he won a pretty big tournament, and then him and Choco Blanca, his wife, started doing that training series. And the guy who just won Street Fighter 6 was one of his mentors, or was one of
Oh,
his,
one of the students?
apprentices and students. Yeah, and that's
Oh,
why they
okay.
were rooting so hard for them. And I'm like, damn, like,
That's
they
pretty
started
cool.
this kind of FGC school kind of thing. I don't know if they charge to go, for one-on-one training session. I don't know
That's
how
like
it works.
that's crazy, bro. That's like a fighting game dojo.
Well, it was the same thing with Mena. Like when
Yeah,
Mena first
yeah,
won, he put a lot of his money into the Brazil and that whole area, like
yeah,
basically boosting up, a little selfishly and unselfishly, because getting more competition around yourself is going to boost your own level. So,
right, right.
he wanted to raise the level of everyone around him and be able to send them to tournaments like Kaba. And, that's why, like,
Oh, all
his
those guys are
whole,
from his camp?
yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
basically, like, he kind of was like the mentor and the first one to really put them on the map. And then
Okay.
he won, so many by this point. He's won
Yeah.
multiple majors, and a lot of that money he said he was putting back into the community, and like, for plane tickets and for travel expenses and for, maybe
Yeah.
for peripherals like fight sticks and better
Yeah,
setups to be able to
that was
play. And
cool. Yeah.
like, dude, all that shit, renting out a location, or building setups to run local tournaments, like maybe
Mm,
around his area, like.
yeah.
But
It's the guy that Arslan Ash. He did something very similar in Tekken. He started, a Pakistani player come out of nowhere, just destroying everybody to the
mhm.
point where he made so much money. He did something similar to what Mena did. Got a bunch of his Pakistani guys on. Now, the top players in Tekken are all Pakistani players. They win all the
Yeah,
tournaments. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
And when
So,
you get, I'm telling you, like, I can speak from my own personal example, right? Like, I would
mhm,
go to a tournament, I would see all this shit I had never seen before, and then I would bring it back to now I'm doing it to my local community. They would, and it depends on the outlook. It depends on unfortunately, a lot of the people that were around in that era, and the people in the area that I lived and went to, going to Wizards and going to the Butterfly,
yeah.
a lot of them were not thrilled about playing against a Magneto that's putting them in infinites, or getting hit by 4 or 5 hyper viper beams, or getting locked
Mm,
down by Spiral and Sentinel, or Strider Doom, or some of these different things. But this is what they're doing in tournaments, so I wanted to
mhm,
get better with it. I wanted to practice doing it so I knew how to do better. um, and
mm,
a lot of them, instead of adapting, they just would talk shit and then avoid playing. And this is where I was talking about the other day, where
mm.
I'd play them once or twice, then they'd stop playing, and they'd just make me have to beat the game because they wouldn't play again.
They didn't want to
And
play. See,
then they'd go and get on the game, and I'd play them again, and then I'd beat them, and then they'd sit there and do the same thing. And I'm like, all right, I won't play you. Like, if
that's
you'd rather just play the computer for all the
you
good
know
that's
that's
going to do.
that's better than I actually that remind me of a story they was talking about Daigo. When he was younger, playing Street Fighter 2, he had got so good at the game. He was at the arcade, he was beating everybody. And so he beat this one dude, and the dude beat him up. Like literally took him outside and beat his ass
Yeah,
for beating him in the game. Ain't nobody ever gets so mad at you that they wanted to actually fight.
it was close. It was close. There was a few times, but most of the
Mm,
times, the arcades had some kind of security there. There was someone who
yeah.
would like hand out the change, kind of be slight security. Space Station, Wizards, Butterfly
Oh
had the
yeah.
bouncers. So
Hmm.
unless someone like started shit with
And
you
you,
outside in the
and you
parking
know I
lot.
wasn't gonna let nobody mess with you at Space Station. Come
Yeah.
on. No, they
And
wouldn't.
so,
You
but
yeah.
there were a couple of times that, like, I mean, I remember beating a guy in Street Fighter at Major Magics or something, and it was like Champion Edition, I think. And I was beating him, and he said, "Man, if you beat me one more time, I'm gonna beat your ass," or something. Uh,
What?
and then, I ended up beating him, and then basically he just like he didn't really do anything to me, but he just kind of like pushed me out of the way and like took my game. I was like, dude. And then I'll tell you, one of the things that I
Mm,
still I still love to this day that happened was, there was a guy at Wizards, and this was, so back in the day there were like a few different little groups from Detroit, right? So you had Wizards, you had the Flint boys. There was like 3 or 4 guys from Flint, Dre, and a couple of his boys that would come from Flint, and they were, they played different style, different teams, whatever. Then you had Roscoe's, which was somewhere in Detroit. I don't really know where. Maybe like kind of by Wayne State or something. And
yeah.
then there was Michigan Fun Center, and you had the Butterfly. Now, each
Mm,
of these areas had kind of their own little crew within it. And then it was almost like, I'll tell you this, and I mean, seriously, it was almost like wrestling, the WWE versus like or like the different factions. So like,
yeah.
we from Wizards would invade the Butterfly Friday night, right? And we'd come and like take over. And I mean, it'd be like, if the NWO just like came into the building, or like
Right.
some group of whatever, so you have a faction of wrestlers, and the Road Warriors, and then all of a sudden Hogan and Macho Man come out with the superpowers, or
Yeah.
whatever, and gonna try to
Right.
stop it. It was a little bit of that vibe back in the day, and so same
Yeah.
thing,
But
like,
that's cool. As long as it was, as
um,
long as that's cool.
well, but okay, so back to the story. So this guy who mainly played at Roscoe's, he was there, and it was like just him and maybe one other guy. So usually they would roll deep, like it'd be like 5 or 6 of them, all from that area, would come over to Wizards on like a Friday or a Saturday. Not all the time, but occasionally, just to get some different competition in and whatever.
Yeah.
So this guy, I'm playing him in Marvel 1, and I was playing Gambit and Morgan. That was one of my main teams that I played in that game. Gambit had an infinite, easy-ass infinite, where if somebody jumped in on you, you could infinite them jab short, jab short, jab short out of the air, and you would just hold them there, jab short, jab short, jab short, up to 80 hits or whatever. So I'm doing this infinite on him, and he hits my taunt button in the middle of my infinite on him. And he starts kind of giggling and laughing. And I'm like, oh, yeah? And I went to the side, and I just turned off the cabinet. I was like, all right, well, now we both lose. It's like,
Oh, that's funny, man. Hey, I mean, at least you didn't get into an actual fight with him. I probably would have did the same thing, man. That's crazy. Sore losing,
and that was
man.
the thing. I mean, that was like an unwritten rule. Like, you don't hit someone's taunt button, and they're doing a combo, or they're doing, whatever, and you hit their taunt button. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
that's dirty, no doubt. See, that's the thing, man. And today, those guys today are the ones that rage quit. So you just can't avoid it, man. But I wanted to ask you too, like, you've been playing the Invincible Versus. Did you kind of, get a feel for it, or
no, dude, I've just been busy. I've been working on like trying to clean up the house a bit, and then this other game that I've been playing, this Wuthering Waves. It's not like a Final Fantasy 11. It's kind of like Final Fantasy 11, but without the online portion. So it's mainly single player. You go through story, and you try to get new characters that come out. But of course, like all games these days, to get the character or to get their weapon, everything's gotcha. Spend $60 and you'll get this currency, and you have a spend 1,200 each pull to see if you get it. And again, since I don't spend a lot of money on gaming anymore, I do sometimes allow myself to, like, I'm gonna go for this character, and I'm gonna drop 100 or drop 150 or something. But like, then that's it. Like, but I'm not like you, where I'm buying 6-7 games throughout the year, 8-9 games. Like, I don't even have the interest in half of those games to dedicate the time, and I don't have the time. Like, I don't even know. I barely have enough time to do the daily stuff that I'm supposed to do in this game. I want to stream Marvel, and sometimes I'll do that once a week if I find the time. But now that my girlfriend's been staying over a lot of nights, and we're hanging out, we do dinner, we're watching some I don't have that time to just dump 2-3 hours a night into gaming. Which probably isn't a bad thing, but it's just how it is.
Yeah, and to be honest, I haven't bought that many games in a year, and it's been so much because there haven't been that many good games. And then I have, I haven't been, my situation. I've kind of been living off Game Pass, to be honest.
And then I always forget about Game Pass.
Yeah, I've been living off that in my backlog right now till I can get back, situated. But yeah, it hasn't really been that many good games, because I play multi genres. I don't just play fighting games. I like adventure, action, RPG.
I know.
But the Game Pass has been able to keep me cool. Love repetitive type games. Old school repetitive type stuff. Beat 'em ups. Like Space Marine 2. I love that game, man. That's like probably one of the newer games that I've been playing the most, just
What game?
collecting different
What
classes.
was?
Space Marine 2.
Oh yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, dude, both of us, like, I've liked a lot of different game genres. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
go crazier than, like, you got Crazy Taxi, you
Oh
got
man.
old school, like, you got pinball, you got, like, fighting games, you got, I
Yeah.
mean, I do, Final Fantasy 11 and MMOs, and then, shooters like Gears and Destiny, that's like a
Yeah.
hybrid shooter slash MMO, like, um,
Yeah.
I've played a lot of genre puzzle games, that ball fight or whatever, that one that I was just playing recently.
Oh yeah. Ball
Um,
pit. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
ball pit, and that was kind of fun. And then
It was pretty cool. Yeah.
then it's like, okay, well, I kind of got to the end of this, and now it's just make it a harder challenge on myself, like, make it a little bit harder over and over. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
like the aspect of unlocking things. Like one of the okay, like, so a perfect example is Dead Rising, with Frank West,
Oh, okay.
right? The
Yeah.
whole concept of that game, but as soon as you finish unlocking all the new fusions of weapons, it's like, okay, now the game's boring. Like,
Oh,
part of the fun is unlocking, and like, oh, I'm still missing these blueprints. Like, what is that weapon? Oh shit,
yeah.
that's double paddle saws. Oh shit, that's sick. And it's fun for a little bit, but then it's like, okay, like, it kind of, now
What's
it's,
next?
old hat, what's next? And there's nothing next. And so now it's just like, okay, go through the game, finish it in a slightly faster time or whatever.
Yeah.
um I like a lot of these games that can have some kind of replayability, replay value, like a new game plus, that, like, I'll tell you, one of the sickest games to have new game plus was Parasite Eve. I don't know if you ever played
I've
that
heard of
back in the
that
day.
game. I never got
Dude,
to
the
play it, but
first
I remember
Parasite
hearing it.
Eve was so sick. I wish they would, like, remake that, like, current graphics, and maybe adjust it a little bit. Like, you
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
necessarily maybe need to go quite as far as, a Resident Evil remake, kind of, where it's like now it's first person or whatever, but
Oh yeah.
it, like, games really need to figure out how they can do a really good new game plus to keep people engaged. Like, add a little bit extra content, um make it so you can unlock things, make it so because you would get, each time you'd clear the game, you would get access to, like, another level of, like, the Chrysler building in the game, and you would unlock some new perks. And, like, by the third playthrough, dude, you're one-shotting everything in the game. I mean,
Right.
literally,
Right.
your gun is so powerful and whatever. And yeah, you're only probably gonna play through it like the three times, because once everything's one shot, now it's no fun. It's
Right.
kind of, but to see you going from struggling to now I'm one-shotting, it's like, oh shit,
Oh yeah.
like,
That
god damn,
that power
that
fantasy. Yeah.
power
Yeah.
gap, to see it
Yeah.
disappear. But again, like,
Oh.
stuff like Devil May Cry, or stuff like,
Oh yeah. That was fire.
Gears or whatever. Like, I think Gears should have done kind of that kind of stuff, where, like, new game plus, but, like, now your gun is, and it would only be in story mode if you're on new game plus,
Right.
but, like, your gun would do, like, triple damage, or whatever, like,
Right.
little stuff like that to make you want to, like, oh yeah, let me play. Because once you go through a long story mode of a game, dude, unless you're doing it, like, because now we're doing it co-op with a friend, there's not a lot of incentive to want to go through all that again.
Yeah. They had this mode Gears 5. I forget the name of it, but it's like they're like little separate operation type missions, right? And you just go through them, and through that mode, you could level up the character, you could level up weapons, and stuff like that. And I thought it was pretty cool, but it wasn't. It didn't really catch on. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I kind of personally, I just kind of just left it alone.
Because what I really wanted is, like, let's say for Gears, that's why Destiny to me was the perfect game. because you have that
Yeah.
RPG element to reward you for playing. You do the, the dungeons, the vaults, whatever. You get all this sick gear, and then now it's like, dude, if I had to go back and do a mission on regular Earth, it's like, dude, everything is toast. Like,
Yeah.
and you can see
Right.
that
Yeah.
difference of like, dude, I was struggling at level 30, but now I'm 60 and my light is 320, and god damn, I'm
Right.
headshotting everything left and right, and
Hmm.
um, but I
I,
mean
I
that's where
wanted to
like,
ask,
yeah,
did you play any Souls games, or that was never like your cup of tea?
no, I've never played Souls.
Hmm. Yeah.
Not any real reason. I just it seemed like at the time they were kind of on Steam or on PC, or they were on
Hmm.
something that I didn't have. And other than the graphics looked okay, but like when I would watch someone do a boss fight, I was like, man, this is it feels kind of slow and clunky. It was,
This is
it was
why. Yeah.
impressive because I knew like you can't really get hit. Like if you get hit once, you're dead, or you have to like
It's not
block
that.
everything
It's not that.
perfect, or whatever. Like just, but when I'm saying when I looked at those games, that's kind of how it seemed. Or people would beat the game in on like AGDQ, they'd beat it like with no gear, like level 1 sword or something, and they would beat it, and where again it was like if they get hit once they're dead, kind of like doing some of these Metroid or Castlevania runs where like you're way underpowered and you're kind of glitching
Yeah.
through the game to beat it in a fast time. So as a result, sometimes you wouldn't have the shit you're supposed to have. Like, oh, I'm beating it, but I don't have the Varia suit, so I'm taking extra damage from all the enemies, but I'm going for the record. So,
Some speed runners. Yeah. I mean, them guys are good, man. Them dudes. I've seen them guys. And this is the game that if you can catch it, this has been out for forever. You probably can catch it on PS5 for like $10, and that's Bloodborne. And man, Bloodborne is so good, bro. It's so good. It's fast. It's a Souls game, but it's not slow at all, and it's got good combat. It's not like Devil May Cry juggle type combat, but it's still really good, solid reflex oriented type combat. You gotta be on your toes for
mm-hmm,
parries, stuff like that, and it encourages aggression. So if they hit you and hit like takes energy down, you have to attack to get that energy back. That's like one of the first games to ever do that.
hmm.
So this, I'm telling you, man, this is really good. And if you feel like giving one of those type of try, it's go on PS5. Like I said, you probably can catch it on sale for like $10, maybe even cheaper than that. And if you got PlayStation Plus, it's actually free if you got PlayStation Plus. You can just download it. You know,
What did you say? Are you talking about Bayonetta or what game?
no Bloodborne.
Bloodborne. See, those are two
Yeah,
games that I've never played, and
Bayonetta's
I've
sick too, though. Yeah.
I've heard about both of them, and
Hmm.
I don't know if at the time like they were on PlayStation and I didn't have a PlayStation. I was on Xbox One and 360, and I remember hearing when they came out, but either that or I was really wrapped up with Final Fantasy or Destiny or something. And you
Yeah.
know how I am. I mean, I'm all in on those
Oh yeah.
games. I don't have time for anything else. Like,
Right.
I
You be
don't even
locked
have time
in.
for a life. Like, it's like get home and get on for 8 hours until I go to bed at 2 a.m. and do it all over
Hmm.
again the next day.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you be
But
locked in. I ain't mad at that,
I
man.
mean, dude, have you ever fucked with like any of those old like side scroller puzzle games? Like, uh,
High
man, I
school
always
puzzle game.
yeah, like there
Mm.
was that one that was black and white, and you're a little guy, and you have to like, figure out how to get across, and you swing on a vine, and then you have to jump over some little thing, and there's spikes, and there's, um, it was sick back in the day, but and now they've had a lot of those kind of games, like puzzle side scroller adventure games where you might not even have attacks,
You know
like
what? I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead. You just made me remember a game. Go ahead. I'm
Well,
sorry.
I can't remember what it's called, and it pisses me off. But it was on 360. It was black and white,
Hmm.
and I mean it
Oh,
was dope.
let me see.
I know you know it.
A little boy.
Yeah, yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I forget the name of it. Yeah,
And it
and
was
he died.
real
He died.
dark. It was real
Yeah, it's
dark. It
real
was like,
dark.
and it was
Yeah,
like negative. It was like a photo negative of dark. Like rather
yeah,
than the character being white, it's like he was all black with
yeah.
white eyes, and man,
I
I
know what you're
can't.
talking about. I forget
Yeah,
that. I
but
forget
like,
the
and then
name.
recently they've had
Yeah,
those other ones where you're playing as the ant.
the ant. I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's like a white ant that you're playing as Needle or something,
Oh, you
and
talking about I know you're talking about Hollow Knight, but it's the
yeah,
sequel to Hollow Knight.
there's
Yeah,
the first one where you're playing as like the knight, the ant, and then the second one where you're playing as like almost like a bee or something, but
yeah,
a different weapon, and but you're also an insect. And those again, very similar in some ways, but those are a little bit more like Metroid-ish, where you have a weapon and you get abilities. You can
yeah.
run and you can dash and different stuff. But I mean, that game that I'm talking about, and it was like four letters. I feel like it was like wave
Um,
or
I
live or I just can't
I
remember
know
what
it's
it.
like right on the.
I
It's
know.
right there. It'll probably come to me. But
And there was
yeah, I
another game
remember.
that was around that came out around that time, and it's not this game, but it was called
Mhm.
Braid. I don't know if you remember
Oh, with
that
the
game.
time,
And
you can like
yeah, and
manipulate
you could
time.
rewind
Yeah.
time a bit. I'll tell you one of the sickest 3D kind of Devil May Cry games I ever fucked with. To this day had some sweet mechanics. Was
What was that?
Prince of Persia: Sands of Time.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
Sands of Time was so sick. And I was so pissed because then I went to play the sequel and I was like, well, damn, there's no rewinding time anymore. Like,
Yeah,
it's Prince of Persia still, but without the time manipulation. And that was so fun in that game. Like the puzzle solving, rewind time or fast forward it and then whatever. And,
yeah.
I don't know, man. It was a lot of fun.
That was sick, man. I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. No, the game that you reminded me of. I don't know if you might have played this game. Do you remember an old game called Spy versus Spy?
Yeah.
Man, we used to love it on like Nintendo because like when you said black and white, I started thinking about like, and I thought about the two
Well,
characters.
that was the comic strip, and then it was in. They even had so there was the comic strip. Then it was in
Hmm.
Mad TV for a while. They would do little skits,
Yeah,
and that was like all those live shows. Mad TV, SNL. They always had a little, animated segment, and Spy versus
yeah.
Spy was kind of dope, because it was like, and I can't remember, was Spy versus Spy in Mad Magazine? Is that where it started?
I
Uh,
don't know because dude, I remember that game on the NES, like, and I'm talking like back in when I was a kid, like way back in the day, probably like 89, 88. I remember playing it, and it was just so fun because it was like a multiplayer game, well, two-player game, and you could just set traps for each other. That's basically
yeah,
the whole premise
dude,
of the
I'm telling
game.
you, I would fathom a bet that Despicable Me, the movie.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I bet that was inspired by Spy vs. Spy because in the beginning, when he's like all the gadgets he's using and breaking in, and then I think it's either in the second or third one, and I think it's the second one, and he's going against like some other spy, and they're like, he's getting caught in a laser net, and then he keeps going, and then he had set a trap, and he gets stuck in some kind of smoke bomb thing, and then he keeps going a little, and they just kept. It was so like Spy versus Spy, and
yeah,
I'm sure it was at least partially inspired by that shit.
yeah, man. Yeah, that was a classic. Simple but fun.
So
Yeah.
But getting back to the original topic of,
Yeah.
man, I am hyped for some Marvel Tokon, and I cannot wait
Yeah.
to see what the rest of this cast looks like. Like,
How many characters
I'm
are left?
wondering. I want to say it's got to be like 6, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Like it may be 4, 5, 6, because Doom is one leader of the 4th team, and Ghost Rider is, I believe, the leader of the 5th team. So they're saying, Doom might be like team villains or team, not new Avengers, whatever kind of like God Doom, whatever his area is in those comics, where they're maybe kind of villain-esque, or people that have been like kind of riding the fence of like, are they good or bad over the years, kind of thing. So I don't know who those characters will be. And then Ghost Rider, if they're going with his team being, because there was a lot of thought that Wolverine was going to be on Ghost Rider's team as the what's the team, and they had a video game like Midnight Suns or something.
Oh yeah,
where they're all,
Suns.
And so there's a chance that you're talking like Blade, Doctor Strange, but Doctor Strange has been in a lot of games. So are they going to pull something else, like maybe Daredevil, or who knows, or way out of left field, some multiverse. I mean, Penny Parker, isn't that multiverse? Isn't that from another, like,
that's from the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, so like, I mean, they could go totally random, and we're bringing in, Earth 614,
right.
Someone or whatever. So
they could bring,
I don't know.
Spider-Man Noir. They could bring Spider-Gwen. They could bring.
I don't think they're going to do any more
Hulk.
Spider-Man, but they were hinting that Carnage might be. What did you think about the thoughts that Carnage might be?
Carnage would be sick. I would want to see him just to see how they would, animate him, how his design would be, with their art style. That would in itself would be worth seeing it, and how creative they could get with it. Because he's basically Venom, pretty much.
He's Venom, but not as bulky,
Blade.
and not as bulky, and I feel like he uses a lot more weapons because he's a killer. So like, I mean, literally everything from like saws, axes, swords, kind of, get a little T-1000-esque where, when he swings at you, maybe he has really good range because he's extending it with like an axe and, stretching out his, almost like if Dulcim were also had an axe in his hand. It's like, God damn, that's messed up, or knives or something. So who knows? And I mean, what I really want to know, actually almost more than the full cast itself, is when they release DLC for this game, how's that going to look? Are they going to release like 2 teams for a season, maybe? Or do you think it's only going to be 1 team, 4 characters for a season? Or maybe they won't do a season. Maybe they'll break it up and like, we're going to do like a 6-month block, and we're going to release this team for this 6 months, and then in the later half, like first half of 2026, or let's say 2027, you get this, we have 2 teams that you're going to get over the next year. I don't know. I mean, look how long the game has taken to come out with these characters, that I'm worried that maybe they can't pump them out at a fast speed, and so that we might be locked into, 4 characters.
Point, man. I didn't even thought of that, because it's like, I hope they ain't paint themselves in the corner, because it's like, because you have.
Well, look at this, and this is another comment that I find interesting, is that when they do a beta test, or they do an alpha, or they do a play test at tournament, right? They just have this announcement, and then they immediately say the new build is going to be available at Combo Breaker with Black Panther available, but not Hulk. And they've done this multiple times where like they'll have one of the two characters playable, but not both. Maybe it's that they want everybody to try this character because they think that if they put both, too many are going to gravitate towards Hulk, or too many are going to,
Yeah.
maybe it's a way to force everyone to play
People
this
to
new
play,
character
period.
and
Yeah.
to see the input of like what the community thinks immediately on maybe the more questionable of the characters, or maybe there
Right.
were some, maybe they're on the fence about like how they want some of her moves to work, or because we know this game, I mean, they're willing to change it a little bit, and they've already had mechanics change quite a bit
Yeah.
with like adding the new forward and back assists and the neutral assist that like you couldn't call out in a combo before, but now you can. And like, I mean, they were pointing out, Max was pointing out that like even something like Iron Man's he has some kind of beam where he puts out these little almost like smart bombs that like track, and then they do like a homing shot on you. Before, he was locked into that like until the animation was over, but now he can like start it and then cancel it with like an air dash or an attack. So like just giving players a little bit more flexibility to like, if I want to do this, but oh shit, I can see that they're gonna maybe punish me, maybe that's not a good idea, and I want to cancel and rush in, or something.
Right.
I like being able to do that kind of stuff, like
that adds to the combo creativity. If you can do stuff like that.
Well, and the neutral. I mean, the neutral. It makes such a big deal for like, I mean, look at a game like Marvel 2 or Marvel 3. If you can plink dash, or you can wave dash, or you can, cancel, or you can do a fierce punch and then cancel into a special, and then from a special into a super. It's like, and then from one super to another super, like, all that kind of stuff makes a lot of difference as far as quick reactions, or setting up like some kind of ambiguous setup, or cross up scenario, or a really hard to block thing.
And the thing too, like Mysterio, it's so funny. I was how fickle the FGC is. It's like they talking all this stuff about it because it's her, not T'Challa. But let them find out that she's cracked. Let them find out that she's broken. They'll love her. They'll love her. They'll love her. And that's the thing. If the character's good, they'll overlook a lot of stuff. Yeah. So that's my philosophy on that. So I hope she's good.
I bet that Marvel still has their hand in the pot just enough to say, hey, you want to do Black Panther? Would you guys mind doing, since T'Challa isn't in the movies right now, and we've got a big, Doomsday coming out, how about you guys use Shuri, and make her fast and spry and really attack focused, kind of somewhere between an X-23 and a Wolverine, or something along those lines, or like actually maybe kind of more like a Trish from Marvel 3, that kind of because Trish is fast as hell. She's got projectiles. She's got her kind of scythe that she uses, not really as main attacks. I mean, she does as like her fierce, she uses it, but so I don't know. I mean, maybe they said something like that, or maybe it's totally up to Arc System Works to decide who they're going to use, but.
Well, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, well, the last thing I was going to say is that, like, I mean, who knows? Maybe that's part of the holdup. Is maybe every time they pick characters, they have to get approval, And so if they have to go through those chains of commands of back and forth, okay, this is how we plan to draw her, this is how her moveset's going to go, this is what we want her to say, and then, little notes from, she shouldn't say this, how about mentioning this, because that's going to maybe tie in, there was little quips back and forth between her and Storm. Obviously, they know each other in the comics. T'Challa is married to Storm at one point in some incarnations. Other incarnations, they're at least both from Africa, whether it's one's from Wakanda and one's from actual Africa. But either way, they know each other and they're aware of each other. The same way I would expect that if Cyclops were in the game, him and Wolverine might be talking shit, saying something
Yeah,
about Jean Grey or saying something about whatever. So you never know.
yeah, yeah.
And Marvel probably gets their hands in with all that shit.
They probably do. You already know. So Capcom probably does as well. But real quick before I get off, I got
Uh-huh.
one last question to ask you.
Sure.
Are you going to see that Mortal Kombat movie?
Well, I got to be honest. I'm kind of not really a movie guy anymore. I haven't been to a movie in years, and I maybe the last one I went to like one or two. The last one I went to was what is it? The Good Place with Keanu Reeves. I was on a date, and Aziz Ansari and Seth Rogen or whatever, and it was a good movie. It was
he was like an angel or something?
yeah, and it was or
Okay.
not a good place. I forget what it was called, but it was really funny and it had a lot of heart, and it was a good movie. But the thing is to be honest, I mean, dude, I have like 4 or 5 streaming things. It's like I can wait. It'll most likely come to one of those, and I can wait, dude. I mean, I can wait for Street Fighter. I can wait for Mortal Kombat. I can wait for Michael. I'll just wait till it's on HBO Max or Hulu or, Amazon or, whatever it's on.
Same here,
and
bro.
no, I mean, dude, it's so expensive. And to drop $15-20, and even if you get a deal, like the only time I would usually go would be on a, some kind of deal, like a Tuesday or a Wednesday at MJR or Imagine, where you get like, half off movie, or it's like a $5 movie or $7 movie. And I think either a free popcorn or $1 popcorn. And it's like, so then of course those movies are super crowded, and crowd doesn't really bother me. The way the seats are now, having assigned seats and stadium design, you don't really have people in your way.
That's the best thing they could have came up with.
However, there are still loud kids that are being obnoxious. There's still, kids on their phone, jumping around, doing shit, but like right up until the movie starts. Even after the movie starts, people coming in with their, their drinks and nachos and popcorn, and kids that can't find, where are we supposed to sit, and looking for the seat. And it's just, I don't need any of that, to be honest.
They don't put their phones on vibrate. All kind of shit. Some of them just answer their phone in the middle of the movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yo, what's up, man? Like, hey, what's up? Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. And again, and it's like dim the brightness. Like people have full mag light, going off in the middle of the thing, and so it's just, to me, it's gotten, and I get fed up and I get annoyed, and I don't even need all that. Like, I want to see these movies, but I'll see them for free when they're out on streaming. And dude, now it's like 3 months till they're out on streaming. Like, if that.
Quick as hell. Yeah,
so it's like,
it seemed like it took forever for a movie to come out.
Oh yeah, dude, it was like a year, 2 years before it comes to tape, and then, oh man, renting them Blockbuster and Movie Club and all these different places. And
yeah, man, but you're right, they come out pretty quick. But the reason I brought that up, because a friend of mine had called me. He was like, am I well enough to go to the movies that I wanted to go with them to go see it? And I was like, yeah, I'm straight. And basically for the same reason you just mentioned, I just don't want to deal with people. Sometimes I just rather not. And I got half of those services too. I can wait. I got plenty of shit to do until it comes out. Even if I can, even if it doesn't come to like Netflix or HBO Max or something, I'll pay $3.99 or $4.99 to rent it. Especially Michael. I got to see that.
Yeah.
I got to see Michael. Yeah, bro. But I'm gonna let you go, bro.
All right, bro.
I gotta eat real quick.
Hey, look, man, I always appreciate you taking the time out to talk with me and catch up on like the gaming stuff. We're gonna have to probably in the next couple talks, talk Dragon Ball again. because it's on the
I haven't been
verge of,
keeping up with
some
the
more of
Dragon
that
Ball.
stuff. Yeah, there's supposed to be, the remake of Beerus, the remake of Frieza, and then I think they said the new Galactic Squad Patrol is supposed to come out either 2027 or late 2026. I don't know, man, but there's new stuff on the horizons, and
That's good.
just whatever, man. But trying to do the thing, and
Hmm.
hopefully these games, there's more tournaments, and who knows, maybe at Combo Breaker or the next big tournament, we'll have another character team reveal or something for Tokon.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I mean, that's like, I mean, honestly, I'm so hyped to see who the hell they choose for the rest of this roster. So,
Yeah, man. Like I
but
said, that's probably the only thing that I would pre-order right now. Like
yeah.
get the ability to, which will probably be in another month or so. I have it. I just want to make sure I got that if I don't get nothing else. Yeah, bro. But yeah, man. So give me a call when you get a chance, man.
Hey, have you ever used
Mhm.
something called Fetch?
No, what is that?
So you scan receipts and you get money in the app. That you get points that you can redeem for like gift cards, and you can redeem them for like Google Play, PlayStation Store. I mean, every vendor every restaurant you could ever think of. If you wanted to, I'll send you the link for mine. You download it, you'll get like I think 3,000 or 4,000 points just for accepting my referral and scanning, gas receipts, food receipts, literally everything. And if you look at the app, they also run crazy deals like stuff like, spend 50 in Sunoco gas uh, within like 2 receipts or something, and you'll get 500 points. Or buy 3 cereals of, Foreman Mills cereal, or, General Mills cereal or whatever, and you'll get like 1,500 points. They have tons of these kind of deals. So if it's stuff that
I,
you're buying, or you
yeah.
could, like, instead of this brand, I can do this and get all these points. Because, dude, I've redeemed probably at least $100 so far in this app over a few years.
See, I'm gonna
And I
tell you
mean,
like this real quick. Are we still recording?
I am now. I mean, I can end it now if
Oh yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
prefer.
You can edit because I'm gonna talk to you about
All
this
right,
because
hold,
I've
hold on, hold on.
yeah.
All right,
I
guys. We'll
can
see you next time.